Hello everyone, I am Rishantini and these are my team members, Navina, Dina, Raihana, Wamia and Divya. My team and I decided to conduct an interview based on a single parent family, which should be our case study for this assignment. To start with, I'd like to talk about the participants' background before my team members explain other things in more detail. Our participant is actually my mother. She'll be turning 53 this year and she has been a single parent for a very long time now. My parents separated and got divorced in the year 2006 after being together for 11 years. She has only one child and she's currently living in Kuala Lumpur. The reason behind my parents' separation was my father's extramarital affairs and also him being verbally abusive not only to my mother but to me as well. Quoting my mother, living with him was a nightmare. This is because my parents often quarreled and weren't happy anymore as their relationship was eventually dying. Moving forward, being a single parent is not an easy thing because life will throw you many challenges, and growing up with my mother, I have seen hardships firsthand. My mother works 35 hours per week and has been supporting my grandparents and I for a very long time now. She is a very hardworking woman and is dedicated to her job. She has been such a strong and inspiring role model in my life. Furthermore, when she was asked whether she knows where my father currently is right now, she mentioned that she has no clue, and we believe he doesn't want to keep in touch either. When they newly separated, my mother fell into depression, and she was very worried on how she's going to raise me all by herself. But thankfully, my grandparents were willing to help her until she was stable, not only financially, but mentally as well. Moreover, my mother said that she does not recommend couples getting a divorce for such petty things, unless the relationship can't be saved anymore, and great mistakes are made. To conclude, my mother hoped that couples stay honest and loyal, as these qualities make a healthy and strong foundation in a relationship. Thank you.
Challenges faced by single parents are managing everything alone without a partner's assistance is one of the most difficult parts of being a single parent. Having no one to turn to, making all the decisions alone, and facing all the challenges and responsibilities alone can be very difficult and stressful. The other challenge is financial burden. Many people deal with financial problems and difficulties. However, for single parents, the burden can be double due to being the only one who works and having to deal with household and taking care of children. The responsibility may be too much to bear, and we can feel lonely or even depressed at times. Another challenge faced is difficulty instilling discipline in children due to not having enough time to spend with the child and teach discipline. Lastly, that there is less opportunity for parents and children to spend time together. The single parents usually busier compared to other parents, which leads to having little or no time to spend with the children. Not being able to spend enough time and talking with your children can lead to some serious issues in the future. That's all for my part. Now I will pass to the next speaker. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Navina and I'm going to be talking about a few solutions and suggestions to overcome the challenges of being a single parent. So the first one is loneliness. So being a single parent can be a very lonely experience, even though you have supportive friends and family. It is especially difficult when you don't know anyone else who's going through the same thing. So one suggestion would be to try and replace the negative thoughts that you have with positive thoughts, and also allow your mind some space to discover yourself for the benefit of your children. Besides, you could also redirect your efforts to more lucrative pursuits. Spend time with grandparents if you still have custody of them, and also keep in mind that your children tend to look up to you for emotional strength and support. So it may surprise you to learn that despite your feelings of isolation, you're not alone. Not only that, but there are resources to help these single mothers. It is also a good idea to look for single mother support groups around your area, and never underestimate the power of community. Being a part of one will help you cope with being a single mother who feels lonely. Similarly, the partner who does not have children would go out of their way to socialize and participate in community activities to pass their time rather than wallow in self-pity. So the next solution for the challenge is for financial burdens. So each partner in a close family unit has a financial role in meeting monetary commitments. So you may agree on how to administer your finances, but the fact that you have to manage 2 homes at one time can be a very difficult task. So the most challenging for single parents is having so many financial liabilities. So the solution for this is to start by realizing that you're now on your own and you must work longer hours to fulfill all your financial obligations. So if you have children, sit down with them and agree on how to cut back on some luxuries or unwanted expenses so that you don't have to put too much pressure on trying to sustain the lifestyle at the cost of spending time with them, as they need your presence during this difficult time. So the sooner that you agree and adapt to your situation as a single parent, it will be easier for you and for your children. So allowing a new partner into your life can also help you to recover quicker, even financially. So being a single parent has its challenges and rewards, and parenting does not have to be a traumatic experience. So you will certainly turn single parenting into a positive experience with these relentless attempts and steely resolves. Thank you.
The third solution is for instilling discipline in children. Raising children alone implies that for the most part you do not have a partner who is willing to step in and assist. You are still on duty whether you are well rested or exhausted, whether you are mentally healthy or suffering from sickness. As a single parent, you have a never-ending list of responsibilities that can feel like a never-ending wrestling match. Being a single mother will leave you unsure of how to navigate the uncharted territory of single parenting. One of the issues that single mothers face is lack of discipline. Children can also be emotionally difficult for a single parent, particularly if they know you don't interact with your partner. One suggestion to overcome this issue is to set your limits and agree on the best way to manage discipline and co-parenting before the divorce. Also try to communicate with your partner on a regular basis to teach discipline to the children until you fail to instill the right morals. Being a single parent after the death of your spouse will entail extra obligation. However, don't let the difficulties of being a single parent exhaust you. Relationships counselors and psychologists can also help with mental instability in children, which can lead to indisciplines as a result of single parenting. For the last challenges for the suggestions is spending time together. Children who spend time with their parents and participate in events with them develop a strong sense of self-worth. When children believe they are respected by their parents, they have a more optimistic self-image. Family events do not have to be costly outings to be meaningful. The main thing is just getting together. You could go for a bike ride or play games with your children. It is common for single parents to feel bad about the time they do not have or the tasks they are unable to do or provide for their children. Still, with your own sense of well-being, it is best to concentrate on what to do in regular basis and everything you have. not to mention all the passion, care, and warmth you are in control of. Consider attending a support network for divorced parents if you are feeling bad about your divorce or any disturbance of your family life. Concentrate on getting your child and yourself the assistance you need. And if the mountains of laundry and dirty dishes tempt you, make time per day to care about your kids. Spend some quiet time together playing, reading, going for a stroll, or just listening to music. Most importantly, concentrate on your feelings for one another and your family's friendship.
Hello everyone, my name is Swami Ahnaf and I will be discussing about the theories. In this case study, we can find a few theories that can be related with our participant, Ms. Rani. The first theory that we will discuss is the conflict theory, which believes life involves discord and competition. It is an idea coined by Karl Marx and Friedrich. This theory highlights the part where marriages go through power struggles. This theory also studies domestic violence, verbal abuse, and physical abuse in a family. In our case study, Ms. Rani mentioned she has been verbally abused by her ex-husband in their marriage. Verbal abuse is an act of superiority. When a person thinks of their partner in a lower position than them, they try to legitimize their authority by verbal abuse or by taking control. In this case, Ms. Rani's ex-husband considered himself in higher power and mistreated her by verbally abusing. Next, we can relate the feminist theory with Ms. Rani, as this theory worked towards changes and removing barriers, especially towards society's awareness regarding women oppression. Initially in their marriage, Ms. Rani's husband had maintained more power over her. He was dishonest in the relationship and made her go through many emotional distress, and thus Miss Rani broke the barriers and filed for divorce to save herself from the mistreatment and her husband's wrongdoings. She stood against her own oppression, which can be an example, and spread awareness for many other women in the society who go through the same difficulties. Lastly, we can relate the John Bowley attachment theory with Miss Rani's daughter and her single parenting. This theory has 4 stages and explains that how children and parent relationship emerge and how it influences the emotional and social development of a child. John's colleague described 3 more stages that are explained when children are being separated from their caregivers. These stages are detachment, protest, and despair. As Miss Rani's husband had kept no touch with her or their daughter, he had been absent as a father in her daughter's life as well. This theory states if a parent is not able to build strong relationship with their child, they might face problems such as suffer from psychological disorders, social difficulties, and development consequences such as decrease in intelligence, increase in anger, and violent behavior. As Miss Rani had mentioned, her daughter had faced anger issues and social difficulties while growing up. This explains that the absence of her father had affected her in some ways. To conclude, these are the type of theories that could have been related with Miss Rani's situation. Thank you. I will pass it to my next group. Moving on, now I will be talking about some of the support discussions that we have gathered. Reviewed by a therapist, often single mothers face the repercussion or loss of their relationship. The child too will have trouble in adjusting of being the child of a single parent. This discussion means while the mother may be trying to do everything she can to make her child feel comfortable, safe, and loved, there will be moments that the child will feel abandoned or unloved and may react in a rebellious or aggressive way. Such a situation can make it difficult for the mothers to set boundaries for the child and discipline them, which can also be seen in our case study. The second point is children in single parent families are more likely to experience increased academic difficulties and higher levels of emotional, psychological, and behavioral problems. The child can be experiencing feelings of loneliness and can be upset or sad, and this will decrease their concentration in their studies. The child of her interviewee has also faced some difficulties in her academics, especially maths, during her high school. The third point. One of the most pressing challenges of single parent families is the concern for their socio-economic well-being. Single parent families are more likely to be poorer than two parent families, as there is a growing concern about the rising inequality among family types. Miss Rani has also already shared that she has faced some difficulties as she was the sole owner of her family and she also took care of her parents. Therefore, it is a huge challenge for her to maintain everything alone. The next point, Hilton found children of single parent homes show more internalized behavior problems such as anxiety, depression, inhibition, and withdrawal than children raised in functioning dual parent homes. The child of our interviewee has faced social difficulties, which shows that she has suffered from anxiety or depression from time to time. Lastly, research shows that children reared in single parent families do not fare as well as children reared in two parent families on average, regardless of race, education, or parental remarriage. And after further research, the same researchers said children who are raised by one biological parent are most likely to drop out of school, have poor attendance, lower college aspiration. As they grow up, they have higher rates of divorce. Thank you. Now I would like to pass the next slide to Thivya.
Hello everyone, my name is Divya and now I will be presenting about the conclusion. So based on the study case, the structure of a family has impacted both of them negatively. Like for the child, she had anger issues, she didn't know how to manage them, and she also had a lot of trust issues on everyone. And as for the mother, she had gone through a lot of depression after the divorce, and it also impacted her by financial wise because she had to support her child all alone. Next, after critically analyzing the case study of a single parenthood struggle and challenges by using three theories, explain the universality of family, the inevitability of different family forms and structure. The conflict theory showed the struggles of power in marriages and the study of the domestic violence. Next, feminist theory in a family showed especially a single mother who proved the world even as a woman she could provide the need and satisfaction for her daughter with no man help. Lastly, John Bowlby attachment theory explained that an emotional connection with another person is known as attachment. He also claimed that children's early relationship with their parents have a profound effect that lasts throughout their life. Furthermore, some suggestions and solutions were also given. Rather than stigmatizing single parent and their children, we all should work as a society together to help them in achieving their requirements or needs in order to make their life more valuable and provide them with a forum to live on. So for a starter, before getting a divorce, parents should try to keep on their marriage stable for the sake of their children's future. But if they can't keep it together, both parents should try to contribute and share equal responsibility for a better childhood and intellectual development for their children's social and emotional growth. Thank you.